So, what's going on, people? What do you have me about right here? Hey, everyone. The voter turnout's been great. We're really excited that Arizonans have shown up to vote today. We're impressed with the early voting numbers as well. I'm here in Mesa with my son. He is voting. He voted today. And hopefully everything's running smoothly in there. I think we chose this place because the lines weren't going to be very long. And we're just really impressed with the way people are showing up. We're really hopeful that we can save our country. So I'll take a couple of questions and then I want to, Ben.
Ben Bergquam, Real America's Voice News. We were just down at a press conference with Bill Gates and the elections office. Still not getting answers back on the 200,000 potential non-citizens or ballots registers that they couldn't verify. How concerned are you about that, non-citizens, illegal aliens voting in this election, and voter fraud overall?
I'm very concerned. We believe that everybody here legally in America should be able to vote, but we don't want people here illegally voting, and my opponent has actually cast votes to allow illegals to vote. Widespread, Americans want only Americans who are legal to vote. And so we got to work on that. We have attorneys who are working on that as well. And obviously, we want to root out all election fraud. I want every Democrat's vote to count. I want every Republican's vote to count, but we don't want any fraudulent ballots. So we're going to make sure that we reform elections so that we have fair and honest elections.
Gary, Jordan Conradson with the Gateway Pundit. So at that same press conference that Ben just mentioned.
First of all, I'm happy that you guys are allowed in.
Well, thank you.
Your First Amendment was restored.
Thank you.
That they allowed you in.
Yes, we had to fight for it, but it's definitely good to be at the table. So one of the things that they said was that 70 to 75% of mail-in ballots are expecting to have counted tonight, but it kind of confuses me that they're going to be counting for 2 more weeks. Does that concern you that it might take them 2 weeks to count all the votes?
It does. I think it's unfair to the voters. We shouldn't have to wait 10 to 13 days to get the results. And it just shows you how messed up the system is. Nobody, I started voting a long time ago. I'm probably older than most of the people I'm looking at right here. And we used to have election day and we knew the results that night. This is why small precinct voting is the best way to go. You go in, your name's on that voter roll. You can show a photo ID, you cast your ballot, and they can count right there on election night. And I believe we need to get back to something closer to
Kellen Browning with the New York Times. Good, how are you? Anything that's concerned you at all today, and if not, are you prepared to accept the result of the race today, whichever way it goes?
I will accept the results of the election, and I have had a few concerns, but we've done a lot of legwork to prevent any problems. We saw lots of lines in 22. We saw equipment that didn't work. Turning Point Action has been incredible. We were talking the other day about our concerns about what if people get in line and the lines are really long, and we've got people who maybe have health issues or standing in line is difficult. And Turning Point Action went to work and rented a fleet of party buses. This is incredible. You guys should cover this story. They rented a fleet of party buses, and they're monitoring the length of lines at polling locations across Maricopa County, deploying party buses, offering anybody standing in line to jump in that bus, and they will take them to another location where there is no line and where things are working and running properly. So I think we've actually helped, watched as we've helped literally dozens upon dozens, probably by now hundreds of voters have taken them up on that when they're standing in line and they realize it's going to be an hour or 2 and they can jump on that bus and be quickly whisked over to another polling location where they can get in and out quickly. So I think that's really impressive.
Speaking of turning point, trying to hurt people about the turnout is mixed and not necessarily where you want it to be just yet. What would you like to see the remainder of the year? Put you in a place where you feel most confident?
We still have 250,000 Republicans who have not turned in their ballot, have not voted. So I want to see every single one of those registered Republicans get out there. If you know somebody, if you've already voted, go to your contact list, reach out to your friends and make sure they vote. I don't want one ballot sitting on a kitchen countertop and not turned in. I don't want one Republican to sit home. Our country is depending on us getting out and voting today. Turnout's been good, but not good enough. We need 100% turnout, Republican turnout. And so I don't care where you are today, drop what you're doing and go out and vote today like your life depends on it. I believe our country depends on it.
Any final words on Election Day that you want to say about us?
I just want to tell the voters of Arizona, this has been the greatest privilege of my life. Not only did I have the opportunity to cover this beautiful state, I moved here 30 years ago, and I'm just honored to be in Arizona. I'm so proud of being an Arizonan. And it's been an absolute honor to be on this campaign trail for really 3.5 years now. And every single voter in Arizona I've had a chance to meet over the past few years and talk to about the issues, I thank you for coming out and listening. And I hope that when you get in to cast your ballot today, that you will realize that I want to go to Washington, D.C. and make you proud and work hard for this state. I want to restore peace in this country and in this world. I want to restore safe borders, safe streets, quality of life, and bring back that affordable way of life that we know here in Arizona. So I just thank the Arizonans. They're incredible people. They're truly incredible people. Who have I missed?
Had me over here.
What is the biggest challenge that you see right now today in the election?
I was just kidding.
Well, I think lines, lines are always difficult. Some people don't want to stand in lines. We've had a few problems at some of the polling locations, and with running out of ink and things like that. But we're trying to monitor all of that and make sure that nobody gets stuck. Nobody gets stuck where they're stuck in a 3-hour line. The last thing I want to see is some of our senior citizens having to stand in long lines. But we got the warning out, and we did an incredible job at getting people to turn in their ballots early. We banked the vote in a record-setting way here in Arizona. So I'm really proud of that. Today, we want to set more records. And so we're monitoring any problems we see. We've got lawyers, and we've got, as I said, those vans are picking up and assisting voters to get to a place where they go.
I know you mentioned it earlier about your son voting, but how important it is to be here to watch him vote?
Oh boy, I'm so proud of my kids. They're 20 and 21, and they recognize that right now the future, the way it is right now, is not going to look very bright for their generation. And they're so excited to be out and be able to vote for President Trump, to cast a ballot for President Trump and for their mom. And they're voting Republican right on down their ticket because they know that their future depends on it. We've already had a pretty good life. They're really nervous about their future if we don't get this right. So I'm really proud of my son. He came down, he was at university, and so he came down last night just so he could vote today, and he's voting in person today. We have one, let me see. Anybody else?
There, I got another.
Who?
Jordan.
Jordan.
Down here now. So speaking of your kids, being on college campuses, is there any update on your daughter's attacker?
Yeah, my daughter was assaulted while she was registering voters on the ASU campus by a hate-filled leftist, a transgender leftist who was filled with hate. And we got some information, the police report. This transgender leftist heard my daughter talking about President Trump and assaulted her right there on the ASU campus. And this is the kind of just insanity that has been unleashed on Republicans for a long time. We saw as President Trump was shot. We saw as there was another attempt on his life in Florida. And there's a lot of hatred coming out toward Republicans. And we love this country. They've called us every name. They called us garbage. My opponent called voters who vote for President Trump the worst people in the world are dumb. And we've been called every name, Nazi, racist, homophobe, xenophobe. We've been called all of it. And we're tired of it. We're patriotic Americans who love our country. And we're not going to take being assaulted anymore. We're not going to take being yelled at, name called. We want to put our heads together and come up with good common sense solutions to get our country back on track. And frankly, even for that leftist who assaulted my daughter, I want his life to be better. I really do. I want things to be more affordable for him. I want things to be more affordable for people who don't vote for me. I want our border to be secure. I want our streets to be safe for the people who do vote for me and those who don't. And we're going to get to that place someday soon. All right, you're on TV now.
Who'd you vote for?
That was amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Be safe out there, and we appreciate you showing up today. We love you. We want things to be affordable for you, safe for you as well. And I know many of you can't cast a vote here because you're from out of state, but if you vote for me and you're here in state, I promise I'm going to work really hard to make you proud of Washington, D.C. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Did you vote?
I did!